Greetings. Thanks for tuning in. I've written down a few things in my book here. This is just how I'm going to run things today. It's interesting, you know. Of course, when there's a dire situation somewhere in the world and someone there has a smartphone on hand or a YouTube studio, you know, they start documenting all the craziness that's going down around them. Of course, they'll get a lot of views like that, you know. In contrast, when you don't have as much juicy, direct, oh my god, kind of extravagant happenings going on, and you know, when it's just you in a normal life, you know, an average Joe living an average life, you know, what do you actually have to work with that's going to, of course, in contrast, let's say if the YouTuber is in a war zone, of course, yeah, a lot of people are going to tune into that very quickly. The question is, you know, are they doing it for the right reasons, you know, or let's say that, let's not criticize, but let's say, like, well, let's aim to constructively criticize. Okay, there's two types of criticism, you know, pointless, you know, arbitrary criticism, you know, emotionally biased criticism, and then there's constructive criticism, when you're, you know, you're aware of yourself and you're pointing out things. All right, we're aware of ourselves and we're pointing out things. But yeah, a lot of these people who get those sweet views, you know, nice and quick because of something like that, the external there is some external dire straits situation to capitalize on, okay, and that's fine. But you know, I guess, for what reasons are you capitalizing on it, or how deeply are you going into it? Like, if there's a problem, are you just focusing on the problem, or are you actually are you going into it so deep that you're aware of what the solutions are, what the practical solutions are? So yeah, in contrast, myself, you know, just sort of an average Joe here, but I got a few things that I'm quite happy that I have become aware of, that I can now explain to you, so that we can start to solve problems in our own lives and in the world, you know. So I've got a few things written down in here, you know. We're just switching things up today, you know. So obviously I want to, you know, what is my purpose for making videos on the internet and website and social media? What is, like, why am I doing this? You know, obviously there's something in it for me, and there needs to be something in it for me. There needs to be something in it for the viewers, you know. But at the core, it's about the vibes, you know. It is about the vibes. It's like, I called it business vibrations. I called it business vibrations. And what I mean by that is like, it's not too difficult to make some money, you know, if you climb the ranks within the mainstream parameters. But then in order to be successful, then you have to be complicit with narratives that are coming down from those in positions of power. So that means that by extension, the power and the influence and the money that you make is not really fundamentally, it is not even coming from your own power. And as I keep saying, that the thing that I have come to realize in my life, which is not just something that I'm intellectualizing, it's something that I'm building up in my body, okay? And I'm going to get to explaining more about this as I go on in this video, so please watch till the end. And that is the life force energy, that which is the fundamental currency that allows us to have the vitality to work and to speak and to power up our brain, to pump our blood around our body, and even be transformed into higher spiritual energies and things, okay? So that's the life force energy. So what I have to bring to the table is that I build up my life force energy, and the way in which you build up the life force energy, because you start from the most fundamental starting point of your being, okay? And when you start from that most fundamental starting point, that is actually the same fundamental starting point that everyone has to start from to build life force energy. So that means that the quality of mind, the state of the attitude that you need to have towards it needs to be of such a quality, such a fundamental quality, that it empowers other people as much as it empowers you. It doesn't just empower you, it empowers other people. So I'm going to get on to that. Okay. Now, and the reason why I keep making these videos, of course, is because there is some hope through what I've learned, through how I've learned to cultivate this life force energy. Now, I have some hope of changing myself for the better and helping other people to change for the better with this, you can say knowledge, but it's something deeper. It is an energy, okay? And we're going to get to that, okay? There is some hope, because, you know, if I would just use the cards that I was dealt from birth, you know, according to the information of the basic information of my DNA from my mother and my father, and from the astrological timing, and from the circumstances at birth, from the environmental factors that created me, from the social, environmental, psychological, all of the factors which created me. You know, if you would only rely on that, you would be at a disadvantage. Okay, I would be at a disadvantage, because I would be having to work with, you know, quite difficult, like social anxiety, although it's not. I don't like to use that word. It's not. I'm not saying it like I have anxiety, because if you obviously you don't speak those things into existence if you're smart, if you're wise. Okay, you just don't. But if I would just go with the cards that I was dealt, which what I'm saying is like the things which are generally expected of you, of society, and how that status quo of thing limits you. Okay, so I would be at a serious disadvantage, and we would all be at a serious disadvantage if we only relied on that. So that is what I have for you today. Okay, for us, for all of us. Okay, it's something deep. Okay, and we're getting there. Okay, now the next thing is like the comments. So recently, I've been getting more comments on these videos, which I very much thank the viewers for engaging with me. It's really awesome to see that there are comments, and I do read the comments, but I don't always respond to them. Okay, and sometimes I don't always give them a like or a love like straight away. Okay, I need some time before I engage with things, because there is something that's happening on a deeper psychological and an even energetic level. There's a reason for why I need to give it some time. Okay, and so I'm going to get to that. So but the thing is about comments is that when you engage with these things, and when you it's basically, it's creating a lot of reverberations, like replying to them and engaging with people like straight away. It creates reverberations that don't necessarily basically, for me at this stage, I'm just saying there are, it depends on your level of development. For me at my stage, I'm still kind of working on calibrating. Okay, how do I, what's the best way? So I'm just giving it some time to let the muddy water settle before I come up with a good fitting kind of reply that's going to create the best reverberations possible, that's going to help to manifest your most desirable outcome, and my most desirable outcome, and the best possible quality of life force energy. Okay, so comments in contrast with just work, when I engage with comments and things, both basically it's mental energy that's visualizing abstractions and conceptualizing and philosophizing, thinking about what that person said, what this person said, and it's good. But the thing is, it's in the mind, and when you've got to put the energy level first. Okay, and we're going to get to that. So that is the next thing. So first about comments is that, so the energy level first, which I'm saying is that you have to be working on something. Just replying to comments and that it's not really working on the thing that needs to be worked on. So I need to, for myself, for my own cultivation to be successful, I need to work on the most important thing, which is getting all these different frequencies within me in phase. Okay, in phase, and opening up this void and keeping this perception open. Okay, as soon as I close in on something, then that perception that I had open, that I was able to use to perceive a lot of things, all of a sudden it got closed. All right, so that's deeper about mind power, and you can watch my other videos about mind power to understand more about that. Okay, so the secret here is the energy world first. Okay, the energy world comes first. Okay, there's the physical world, all right, and there's the physical world, you can say, which you can call it the 3D, or I don't like to use 3D, 2D, 5D, 8D, this D, that D. It's really a lot of kind of mental masturbation, really. I don't really want to go into that. Although I don't mean to put it down, but it's again, it often creates a lot of imaginary reverberations that are not really that useful. Like, what are we actually talking about? We have to be very clear about what we're actually talking about, what the practical implications are, what the most important next decision is that is right in front of us that we need to make, not just visualizing not just being caught up with some wishful thinking or fantasy or whatever. Okay? So, but the secret is the energy world first, because we live in a physical and metaphysical reality here, right? Okay, and the best way to engage with this is on a physical, let's say yeah, I mean, you really, unless you have something to work with like martial arts or medicine, you know, something that is direct and immediate, and like if you don't make the right decision, there's going to be an immediate, or very shortly after you make the wrong decision, you're gonna know about it. Okay, something like that, that is self-evident. Okay, so when we talk about physics or medicine or martial arts or something, we really have to be careful that we know what the self-evident truths and things are. Okay. But it is true that the energy or the subconscious, the mental, that that what's going on in the subconscious and in the mental, causal and astral kind of realms on the energetic level, what's going on there, basically it to a large degree it does manifest physically in reality here. Okay, and the secret to manifestation, it is that the astral template, if the astral blueprint is created, that then will kind of download into reality. Okay, and I've said it in a very fantastic kind of imaginary way, but hopefully we're gonna each of us we know in our own reality what that means in a self-evident way. Okay, so that's very important, and obviously, well, this is another thing that I'm not sure people really consider it, but it's that like, why is it that nihilism and like soul denying and like there is no energy, and like why is it that is so heavily pushed by the mainstream nowadays, and by, like, for example, anything like in a court, like if you have a court case, it's very difficult to bring up, like, obviously in any court case they're not going to consider anything like the effect on people's soul as much as they should, right? Is that the best way? Basically, like, but this is essentially what it is that there is very strong mind control in this world that it's very, it almost forces people to be very nihilistic, and then they end up getting depressed because there's no meaning in anything. They don't even know if they have a soul. Obviously there's definitely no such thing as aliens and UFOs. Well, that's just a totally laughable thing, right? It's because of this that people get depressed, because there's no meaning. If there's absolutely no such thing as, if there's absolutely no chance that either UFOs are people from other planets that are engaging with us, or from other dimensions or whatever, or that they are aerospace technologies that are developed, aerospace technologies with superior flight characteristics than regular aircraft, so that they're using electromagnetic engineering to because electromagnetic, what it really does is that electromagnetic corresponds to space and time, which corresponds to mass and inertia, okay? Which means that with the correct knowledge of electrical engineering, you can create mass reduction, you can create inertia dampening, which means that with using electric fields, you can make it so that if you're traveling 25,000 miles an hour this way, and you can make it so that the inertia is changed by the electric field, because obviously an electric field is an inertial force. So yes, you can do that, and so that is basically the bridge between physics and metaphysics, is electrical engineering, okay? So there's a lot of things here, okay, and I'm still working out how to present these things in a way that is digestible by people. But yeah, thanks if you've watched this video. Thank you. As I say, I'm still working on this, on how to get these things across, with the cards that I've been dealt, for the astrological timing and the limitations of my DNA, but I can transcend those limitations with mind power, okay? With our DNA and our dyslexia, or our anxiety, or our Asperger's, or our autism, or whatever neural divergence that it is that we've been diagnosed with, or that we apparently have in our DNA. Our DNA is not fixed. With our mind power, our DNA, it is more like a fluid that can be changed with the after all, the DNA, it's just information, and information can be changed, okay? All you have to do is you have to look at all the different lifestyle parameters, all of the different timings in your lifestyle, the timing of that you can adjust, that you can harmonize, the timing of your breathing, the timing of your heart, the timing of your body alignment, okay? The timing of your socializing, the timing of different things going on in your mind, and you have to identify individual cycles, such as the breathing, such as the mind, that you can harmonize and that you can smooth out. And eventually, when you become aware of enough of these different waveforms, you can synchronize all of them, and eventually you open up a kind of space, okay? When you open up that space, all of them become, they all of a sudden become flexible, okay? And you can change things.